Hi, this is Ryan Hoff with your AIC Legislative Minute for January 26th, 2023, brought to you by Reedy Financial Group. We're now a couple of weeks into the legislative session, and the process is fully in motion. All bills filed are now publicly available, and committee schedules are in full progress. And of course, several of the bills up for discussion this week involved county issues. First, both House Bill 1081 and Senate Bill 300 were heard this week that would expand the allowed use of TIF financing for residential development. In current law, housing TIF is allowed, but only in certain circumstances and when the school boards approve the use of this financing by a city or county. These guardrails were put in place to help make sure that housing TIF was only used in limited occasions because the incremental growth in revenue to pay for services required by the citizens living in these houses would not be available. Instead, the incremental growth would pay for the cost of infrastructure needed by the development. Both House Bill 1081 and Senate Bill 300 would remove one or both of these guardrails. AIC testified that if any guardrails are to be removed, other restrictions on the circumstances of use should be applied to make sure counties are protected against overuse by other taxing units. Senate Bill 300 is eligible for amendments in the Senate, while House Bill 1081 was held over in committee for potential amendment. Senate Bill 280 would create the State Prosecuting Attorney Commission to establish a mechanism for partial state reimbursement of prosecuting attorney staff in the various counties. Modeled after the existing Public Defender Commission, it would reimburse counties who agree to staff the prosecutor's office to a suggested caseload ratio. The legislation would currently suggest a 70% reimbursement rate for the state share of the costs. This bill passed the Senate Committee on Corrections and Criminal Law and is recommitted to the Senate Appropriations Committee for discussion of fiscal impact to the state. Senate Bill 78 would require a mandatory distribution of public safety local income tax to any townships within the county who provide public safety services. Under current law, cities and towns get a mandatory distribution according to the levy ratio, and township distributions are optional. This bill would result in a smaller distribution for counties who would then have to provide alternative funding to meet the service needs. This bill passed the Senate Tax and Fiscal Policy Committee this week and is now eligible for a vote before the full Senate. Keep an eye out for further discussion on a wide range of county interests, as many significant pieces of legislation still await committee hearing prior to the first round of deadlines at the end of February. This has been Ryan Hoff with your AIC Legislative Minute, brought to you by Reedy Financial Group.